Hello guys, a warm welcome to the next session of R programming. Till now we have seen what is R programming, or you can say the introduction to the R programming. After that we have seen setup of R programming language, yeah. And then we have seen variables and data types. After that we have seen input output features supported in R programming, and then the types of operators supported in R programming, and then what is the data structure and types of data structure, yeah. Now let's proceed with the next thing, that is a decision making in R, or you can say the decision making statement in R programming. Okay, so it's very important concept in R programming. Okay, now let me show you what you are going to learn in today's session. So see here, we are going to start with what is a decision making. What is mean by a decision making? After that, we are going to start with what are the types of decision making statements supported in R programming, such as if statement. We are going to learn what is if statement, what is the syntax to create a if statement, and then the example of if statement. Okay, as well as we are going to see the flow chart of each of these type of decision making statement. So we are going to start with the first type, that is if statement, and then if else statement, and then if else statement, and finally switch statement. These are the four types of decision making statements supported in R programming. Okay, now let's proceed with the first thing, that is what is a decision making. What is a decision making statement in R? So decision making is a significant perspective, okay, in any programming language. Okay, it is a significant perspective in any programming language. It assists with taking an alternate way in the code depend on the dynamic outcomes. This helps a great deal in the process automation kind of stuff, where sooner or later in the process there could be a numerous different way, and the state by then chooses the way to be taken. Okay, decision making statement help us to make a decision based on some condition. Decision making statement help us to make a decision, as the name suggests, decision making. So decision making statement help us to make a decision based on some condition. Suppose that you need to make a decision on whether a student passed or failed in an exam. Okay, whether a student passed or failed in an exam. Okay, based on his obtained marks. Okay, based on the obtained marks, you need to decide whether the student got passed or failed. Okay, so you may decide to put a condition for passing in an exam. Students need to obtain at least 50 marks out of 100. Okay, so what is our objective, or what is our goal? Here we need to find whether the student is passed or failed in the examination. So we may decide to put a condition for passing in the examination. The student should obtain at least 50 marks out of 100. So if any student got at least 50 marks, so you can say that that student is passed in the examination. But if any student obtain less than 50 marks, then you can say that that student got failed in the examination. Got it? Yeah. So this scenario can be implemented with the help of decision making statement. Got it? Decision making structures require the developer to indicate at least one condition to be assessed or evaluated by the program. Okay. See here, the decision making structure required the developer to indicate at least one conditions to be assessed or evaluated by the program. For example, in our previous example, what is the condition we have put? We have put the condition is for a student to get passing mark, he need to obtain at least 50 marks out of 100. That is a condition we have put, okay, for passing in the examination. Okay, alongside the statement or statement to be executed. So see, as per the this structure, decision making structure required the developer to indicate at least one conditions to be assessed or evaluated by the programs, alongside statements or statements to be executed if the condition is determined to be true, and alternately other statement to be executed if the condition is determined to be false. So if you consider our previous example, so what is the condition? If the student obtained marks is less than 50, then you can say that student is failed in the examination. But if you put a condition, if the student marks is greater than 50, then you can say that student is passed in the examination. Yeah. Now let's see the types of decision-making statement. So our programming language provide the following types of decision-making statement. Okay. So the first one is if statement. Next type is if else statement. Third one is if else statement. And the fourth one is switch statement. Okay. Now we are going to proceed with each of these type of decision making statements. So let's start with the first type, that is if statement. An if statement consists of a Boolean expression followed by one or more statements. What is a Boolean expression? A Boolean expression is evaluated, and if true, a block of statements are executed. Okay. The execution flow continues, else the execution flow continues with the execution of statements after if statement. Okay. So for example, if you consider again the same example in which we have taken whether the student is passed in the examination or not. So inside the if condition, we need to put an expression. Okay. The Boolean expression is nothing but the expression that is evaluated to be either true or false. So if you put student marks is greater than 50, then you can say he is passed. So if the student obtain the marks greater than 50, then we can make a decision he is passed. But if the student obtain the marks less than 50, we can make a decision that student got failed in the examination. Okay. Now let me show you the syntax of if statement. So see here the syntax that I highlighted in a red color. If inside that test underscore condition, okay, and then opening the curly braces. Okay, it's a curly braces, it's not a square braces. Okay, or it's not a what do you say the opening and closing braces. It's a curly braces. So right if, okay, if statement inside that put a condition, and then you need to start with the curly braces. Inside the curly braces, you can put the statement that you want to be executed if the condition is evaluated to be true. So see here, if the test condition, whatever the test condition you are putting here is true, the statement get executed. This means if this condition is evaluated to be true. For example, if you put 10 is greater than 5, suppose if you put here 10 greater than 5, is it true? Yeah, it's obviously true. So this means in that situation, the statement, whatever you're going to write here, it is going to be executed. But if it is false, nothing is going to happen. For example, if you put if 10 is greater than 20, is it correct? Check it. If here you have written 10 is greater than 20, is it correct? No, 10 is not greater than 20. This means this statement is inside this if condition. This if condition is evaluated to be false. Hence, nothing is going to happen. Here, test underscore condition, this one, can be logical or numeric vector. Okay. Now, it may be possible that inside this one, inside if you can put a test, this is a test condition. So inside this if statement, you can either put logical or numeric vector. But only the first element is taken into the consideration. So see here, if you are putting the vector inside the if condition, this means only the first element of the vector is going to consider for a condition checking. Okay. In case of the numeric vector, 0 is taken as false and rest are taken as true. In case of a numeric vector, 0 is taken as false and rest other values are taken as true. Only the number 0 is considered as false. All the other numbers are considered as a true. Okay. Now let me show you the example of if statement. So I hope you understand it. So write if statement inside that opening closing bracket, put a condition 10 is greater than 20, 10 is less than 5, or whatever it is. It is going to be evaluated, or whatever the condition you want to put. 10 is greater than 5, 10 is less than 5. So based on this condition, it is going to be evaluated. If it is true, the statement is going to be executed. If it is false, the statement is not going to be executed. Okay. In case of this one, you can even pass inside this if, you can also pass numerical vector or logical vector. But in that situation, only the first element of the vector is taken into the consideration for a condition to be evaluated. Okay. Now let me show you the example of if statement. Before that, let me show you the flow chart of this. What is this? It's a flow chart of if statement. Okay. So see here, what is how the flow of the if statement is going to happen. Okay. So see here, first one is a test expression. Okay. Test expression is nothing but what is the condition you want to check. And that condition, if it is true, then the body of if statement is going to be executed. But if the test expression, that is nothing but the condition, if it is evaluated to be false, then nothing is going to happen. Got it? So this is the flow chart of if statements. So note that this test expression is nothing but the expression that you want to evaluate or the condition that you want to check. So I hope you got it. Yeah, the flow chart of if statement. Now let's see the example of if statement. So see here, let's consider we need to find whether the input number given, whether the input given by the user is positive number or negative number. What is our question? We need to find whether the number entered by the user, is it a positive number? Okay, is it a positive number or not? So let's consider that example with the help of if statement. So in order to allow the user to enter the number, obviously we need to write the function readline. I hope you remember we have studied this concept in input output features supported in R programming. Yeah. Inside the readline, after that we need to write prompt, enter the number. Prompt is nothing but that is going to be displayed on the console screen. Yeah. So readline function that allow the user to enter the number, and whatever the number is entered by the user, it is going to be assigned to a variable A. Once the user entered that number A, now what is our question? We need to determine whether a number is positive or not. So if A is greater than 0, if A is nothing but the number entered by the user, if it is greater than 0, then we can say that inside if condition, we can put a statement print positive number. If A is greater than 0, obviously if any number greater than 0, this means that is a positive number. So that's a very basic example of if statement. So right, if inside that put a condition that is a variable A greater than 0. So if any value is greater than 0, then you can say print positive number or it's a positive number. Got it? So let me show you the example of if statement in RStudio. So I have opened the RStudio now. So focus from line number 2. So what is this? By executing line number 2, I am allowing the user to enter the number, and whatever the number entered by the user, it is going to be assigned to a variable A. So let me execute line number 2. Now see here on the console screen, it is asking me to enter the number. Now let me enter the number 10. After that, let me press the enter button. Okay. So line number 2 has executed, in which they ask us to enter the number. So we entered the number. Now let's execute line number 3 and 4. In which we have put the condition inside a if condition. We need to put the condition, okay, or the test expression or the test condition, whatever it is. So if A is greater than 0, this means whatever the number I have entered here, it is greater than 0, then print positive number. Otherwise, don't do anything. So let me execute line number 3. Now, as I entered the number 10, so obviously 10 is a positive number, then I should get the output as positive number. So let me execute line number 3. And the 4. Got it? Can you see the output? Positive number. Got it? Yes. So I hope you understand now. Now let me execute again the line number 2. Let's suppose at this time I enter the number -5. So let me execute line number 2 again. And it is going to allow us to enter the number. So see here, it is asking us to enter the number. At this time I am entering the number -5. Now tell whether -5 is a positive number? No. So inside the if condition, if the if condition is evaluated to be false, so check here. A is greater than 0. Whether the -5 is greater than 0? No. So if it is not evaluated to be true, and if it is false, then nothing is going to happen. This means whatever the statement you have put inside the if condition, it is not going to be executed. So let me execute. Okay, so I have entered the -5 here. So let me press the enter button here. Okay, now after that, let me execute line number 3 again. 3 and 4. So line number 3 and 4 has executed successfully. See here. Does we getting the message positive number here? No, because the statement, because the condition that you put inside if statement, inside the if condition, it is evaluated to be false, because a, what is the a? Minus 5 is greater than 0. Check it. Minus 5 is greater than 0. Is it correct? No, it's not correct. So this expression is evaluated to be false. Hence, the output, we are not getting the output, this one. So got it? But if I enter the number 10, so I'm getting the output as positive number. Got it? But if I enter the number minus 5, nothing is printed here. Okay. Now, we have also learned from the theory session, you can also pass the vector inside a if condition. So let me create a vector. For example, V. So see here, this is my vector. This vector is going to contain the values like 10, 30, 40. Now let me check it. If V is greater than 25. Print yes. So see here, as per the theory session, we can pass the numeric vector inside the if condition. See here, as per the theory. Yeah. Here test condition can be logic or numeric vector, but only the first element is taken into the consideration. So let me create. So we have created a numeric vector here, right? Okay. So this is a V, that is our vector that contains 3 values. Now, if I write V is greater than 25. So check it. You might be thinking V is nothing but all these 3 values. And you're checking all these 3 values with 25. Is it correct? No. As per the theory session, if you have put the vector, numeric vector inside a if condition, inside a if statement, okay, like this. So only the first element of the vector is going to be considered for a evaluation. So what is the first element of a vector V? 20. Now it is going to check whether 20 is greater than 25. 20 is greater than 25. Is it correct? No. So let me execute line number 8, line number 9, and 10. What is here the message? See here, there is one warning message. The condition has a length greater than 1 and only the first element will be used. Got it? Now if I write like this, suppose if I make it as a 50. Now at this time, what is going to happen? Whether V, what is this V? 50. 50 is greater than 25? Yes. So let me execute line number 8 and 9 and 10. Got the output. Can you see the output here? See here on the console window. Okay. After execution of the line 8, 9, 10, we can see the output as yes. What is this V? V is a vector that contains the theory numeric data. But as per the theory session, okay, if you put vector, if you are comparing the vector with any other value, only the first element of the vector is going to be taken into the consideration for the evaluation of if condition. So V, so don't think that you are going to compare all the elements of vector V. Only the first element. So what is the first element of a vector V? That is 50. Now check it. 50 is greater than 25. Is it correct? Yes. So we are getting the output. Yes. So let me execute again so that you can see the output. 8, 9, 10. Got it? Can you see the output again? Yes. And then there is a warning message. The condition has the length greater than 1 and only the first element will be used. Got it? So I hope you understand now. Yes. Now let's continue with the next thing. That is, what is if else statement? An if else, see, an if statement can be followed by an optional else statement which execute when the Boolean expression is false. Okay, the else statement is going to be executed only if the if statement is evaluated to be false. For example, in our previous example, we have seen if a is greater than 0, in which we allow the user to enter the number, and we have assigned that number to the variable a, right? Now after that, we have put the condition if a is greater than 0, then we have written print positive number. Now After that, let's suppose if it is, if the if condition is evaluated to be false, then what is going to be, what going to put? So in that situation, we can use the else statement, in which we can write if condition is there, okay, if a is greater than 0, inside that if condition we can print positive number. After closing of curly braces, we can write else statement, and then start with opening and closing the curly braces. Inside that we can put print negative number. In short, what I want to tell you, if a number is greater than 0, print positive number. But if it is evaluated to be false, this means if a is greater than 0 is evaluated to be false, then print a negative number. Got it? So see here, a Boolean expression is evaluated, and if true, a block of statement are executed. Yeah, we have seen that example. Else, another block of statements are executed. Then the execution flow continues with the execution of statement after the if statement. If the if statement is evaluated to be false, this means the statement that you put inside the else block, it is going to be executed. Got it? Now let me show you the syntax of if else statement. Okay, so see here the syntax, if test condition, whatever the test condition you want to put here. If it is evaluated to be true, then the statement 1 is going to be executed, and then close this curly braces. After that, write else, and open the curly braces, write the statement 2, and then close it. The else part is optional and is only evaluated if the test condition is false. In simple term, if this condition is, if test underscore condition, if this condition is evaluated to be true, the statement 1 is going to be executed. But if the test condition is evaluated to be false, then the statement 2 is going to be executed. Got it? This means only one statement is going to be executed. Either the statement which is present inside a if block, or the statement which is present inside the else block. Got it? Now let me show you the flow chart of if else statement. So see here, the test expression, the test condition, if it is evaluated to be true, this means the body of a statement is going to be executed. But if it is evaluated to be false, okay, if the condition is evaluated to be false, then the body of else statement is going to be executed. Got it? Is it simple? So write test expression, if it is true, body of if, but if it is false, body of else statement. Got it? Now let me show you the example of if else statement. So see here, what is this b? Yeah, b is the variable in which we have assigned the value to it, that is -100. Now if b is greater than 0, if b is greater than 0, then we can say it's a non-negative number, or you can say the positive number. Else, you can say negative number. Got it? If b is greater than 0, then you can say it's not a negative number. Else, you can say it's a negative number. So focus here, how we need to write it. It is important to note that else must be in the same line as the closing braces of if statement. Okay, it should be in the same line. So see here, what is the closing braces of if statement? This one. This one is a closing braces of the if statement. So else should be in the same line as the closing braces of statement. So after that, you can write else, and then open the curly braces, write whatever the statement you want to execute, and close it. Got it? Now let me show you the example of if else statement. So focus from line number 15. So see here, b is -100. This value we have assigned to a variable b. Now after that, we are checking if b is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, you can say it's a non-negative number, or you can say or a positive number. Yeah, right? If b is greater than 0, you can say that it's not a negative number, or you can say it's a positive number. Else, otherwise, print negative number. Are you getting the point? So first of all, put a condition that we have put inside a if statement. Put test condition, b is greater than 0, and then start with the opening of curly braces. Inside that, write the statement that you want to execute if this condition is evaluated to be true, and then close the curly braces of if condition. And inside, see here, the else must be written after the closing braces of if statement. So see here, It's a closing braces. After that, you should write else here, and then start with the opening of curly braces. Inside that, you can put put the statement that you want to be executed. If the condition is evaluated to be false, then write negative number here. So it's a very simple. This means if b is greater than 0, you can say it's a positive number. Otherwise, you can say it's a negative number. So otherwise, nothing but else. So let me execute line number 15. Okay, line number 15 has executed, in which we have assigned minus 100 value to a variable b. Okay. Now, if b is greater than 0, check it. Whether b is greater than 0, minus 100, does it greater than 0? No. This test expression, test condition is evaluated to be false. Hence, it will jump to the else statement. So inside else statement, whatever you are going to print, you can print it. Whatever you want to print, negative number. So let me execute line number 16 and let's see the output. Got it? Can you see the output negative number? Yeah, why I'm getting the negative number? Because the if condition is evaluated to be false, hence the else block is got executed. Now, let me execute it again. At this time, I will make the value of b as 100. So see here, what I done here, I have assigned a value 100 to a variable b. Now I'm checking it. If b is greater than 0, yeah, 100 is greater than 0. Yeah, absolutely correct. This means the print statement that you written here, it is going to be executed. And what about else block? Does it going to execute it? No, because the condition here is evaluated to be true. If the condition is evaluated to be true, then the statement that you have written inside the if block is going to be executed. But if the condition is evaluated to be false, then the statement that you have written inside the else block, it is going to be executed. This means only one statement is going to execute, either a statement that you put inside the if block or the statement that you put inside the else block. So at this time, so let me execute line number 16. So yeah, can you see? Wait a minute. Let me execute line number 15, 16. Yeah, got it. I have executed line number 15 and 16. So what is the output I'm getting here? Non-negative number or a positive number. Why? Obviously, because I have assigned the value 100 to the variable b. Got it? So if I executed this, if I write this statement, obviously I should get the output non-negative number or positive number. So make a note of it. If we are using if else statement, this means only one statement is going to be executed. Which statement? If the condition is evaluated to be true, then the statement that you have written inside the if block, it is going to be executed. But if the condition is evaluated to be false, then the statement that you have written inside the else block is going to be executed. Got it? Yes. So I hope you understand now. Yes. Okay. Now next thing is, so we have seen how to use the if statement. If you just use the if statement, if the condition is evaluated to be false, then nothing is going to happen. But if you use a if else statement, this means if the condition is evaluated to be true, then if the statement inside the if block is going to be executed, otherwise the statement inside the else block is going to be executed. Now let me put the condition if b is a vector. Let me write the condition here. So suppose let me create a vector here. So I'm creating a vector v1 that is containing that take the values, for example, 1 to 5. So I will write 1:5. Now I will check it. If v1 is less than 0, then I will put that statement. I will open the opening bracket, opening of curly braces, and then write. If it is less than 0, I can write negative number. Negative number. Else, I need to write here else. Else must be in the same line of the closing of the curly braces of if statement. So I will write else here. Then I will write print positive number. Now again, since we are comparing a vector with a value 0, v1 is less than 0. If the vector 1 is less than 0, this means it's a negative number. Now again, you can think that whether all the elements of the vector is going to be considered. No, only the first element of the vector is going to be taken into the consideration. So what is the first element or the first value of a vector v1? 1. So it is going to check whether 1 is less than 0. Whether 1 is less than 0? No. This means else plot is going to be executed. So let me execute line number 21, 22. So see here, check it. What is the problem here? Error in, okay, yeah, print. So wait a minute, let me execute line number 21 and 22. So see here, got the answer, positive number. Can you see the output? Positive number, why? Because the first element of a vector 1, see here, vector 1, check it, whether vector 1, v1, what is the element of first, what is the first element of a vector v1? 1. Check it, whether 1 is less than 0? No, it's not. This condition is evaluated to be false. So hence the statement inside the else block is going to be executed. So hence we are getting the output positive number. See here, the output is positive number. But again, we will get the warning back a message that the condition has the length greater than 1 and only the first element will be used. Got it? Yes, got it? But if you put like, for example, let me put a condition. For example, if I make the statement like minus 15 here, minus 15, comma 20, comma 30. At this time, what is going to happen? So see here, v1 is a vector that contains three numerical values, minus 15, 20, and 30. Now, if you are considering v1 is less than 0, so it is going to consider only first element. So check it, whether minus 15 is less than 0. Yes, it's absolutely correct. So this means if condition is true, hence the statement inside the if block is going to be executed. The statement inside the else block will not going to be executed. So let me execute line number 21 now and let's see the output. Line number 21 and 22. Can you see the output? Negative number. Only the first element, see here, only the first element will be used or only the first element is going to be considered for a vector v1. Got it? So now let's proceed it to next thing, that is if else statement. So what I will do, I will continue with this session in the next session. So I hope till now you understand if statement and if else statement. So I will continue with this topic if else statement in our next session. Okay.